Introducing His Excellency Albert I, ruler of equations and awkward speeches.
Picture this. Albert Einstein. Hair like he just stuck a fork in a toaster, smoking his pipe, sweater slightly crooked. Not scribbling equations on relativity, but running cabinet meetings, giving campaign speeches, and dealing with tax reform. Sounds insane, right? Well, in 1952, that almost happened. The state of Israel, still brand new, still figuring itself out, straight up offered Einstein the job of president. Yes, the man who gave us E equals mc squared almost gave us Executive Order number 1. Can you imagine? Instead of scientists saying, Einstein proved it in the lab, they'd say, Einstein signed it into law. World leaders yelling at the UN, nukes on the table, and Einstein standing up, pipe in hand. Gentlemen, according to my calculations, you're all idiots. That would have been the greatest plot twist in history.
Only if it doesn't require me to bathe daily, trim my hair or, God forbid, shave my moustache. Some things aren't non-negotiable.
Okay, back up. How does one of the most famous scientists in history almost end up president of a country he didn't even live in?
Professor Einstein, will you accept the presidency?
Politics? Me? I can't even manage my socks.
It starts with Israel's first president, Chaim Weizmann. In 1952, Weizmann passed away. The young state of Israel was in shock. They needed someone with instant credibility, a symbol the entire world would respect. Enter Albert Einstein.
Professor, we are surrounded by enemies and had no plan. Basically, like starting a new restaurant without a menu.
Fame doesn't pay rent, my friend.
By this point, Einstein wasn't just a scientist. He was the most recognizable genius on the planet. Forget Instagram influencers. Einstein was the original global celebrity. The face, the mind, the legend. He was basically Beyoncé plus Elon Musk. If Elon actually made sense. For a young nation surrounded by enemies, having Einstein as president would have been the ultimate flex. Yeah, we don't just have nukes, we have the guy who invented the math for them. Here's why this wasn't as random as it sounds. Einstein wasn't just about science. He was Jewish, he was a supporter of Zionism, and he cared deeply about the future of Israel. He even helped raise money for Jewish institutions. So in many ways, he was a natural candidate. Plus, think of the image. Israel's enemies plotting war, and who's in the presidential chair? A man whose brain basically redefined the universe. That's some superhero-level propaganda. And let's be honest, the guy had universal respect. Politicians lie, generals posture, but Einstein, he was the one person you could picture at a peace conference saying, guys, violence is dumb. Here's a chalkboard. Let's figure it out like adults. It was almost too perfect.
He's famous. The smartest man alive.
But here comes the twist. When Israel officially offered him the presidency, Einstein said no. Why? His response was brutally honest. He admitted he didn't have the natural aptitude or experience to deal with people. Translation: I can unravel the cosmos, but please don't make me deal with politicians. And honestly, respect. Imagine Einstein in a cabinet meeting. Mr. President, we need to pass a budget. Einstein: cool, let's just convert mass into energy and sell it. He knew himself. He was a scientist, not a statesman. And by turning it down, he avoided the world's most chaotic career change. But let's break the rules of history. What if Einstein had said yes? First off, Israel's second president would have been Albert freaking Einstein. That alone changes the vibe of global politics forever. Imagine US presidents meeting him. Eisenhower walks into the room, ready for a normal chat. Einstein's already at the chalkboard. Dwight, I've been thinking. NATO is just a relative frame of reference. Second, diplomacy. The US and USSR in the middle of the Cold War. Who do they call? Einstein. He literally warned them about nuclear weapons back in 1939. Imagine Khrushchev banging his shoe at the UN and Einstein standing up calmly. Sir, according to my equation, your shoe size is irrelevant. Third, Israel itself. A President Einstein could have reshaped its identity into a science-driven utopia. Education? Through the roof. Every school kid reciting relativity like a pledge. Imagine street names. Mass Energy Avenue, Relativity Road, and of course, Quantum Boulevard. But here's the irony. The man who helped unlock nuclear energy would have had his finger on the presidential button. Nuclear physics plus nuclear codes? That's a math problem nobody wanted to test. And so, Einstein stayed in Princeton, scribbling equations instead of signing bills. By saying no, he avoided becoming the most famous political meme of the 20th century. But his refusal mattered. It showed that Israel wanted to be more than just power. It wanted to be about values, about ideas, about vision. Einstein's choice reminded the world that not all geniuses crave power. Some just crave a good blackboard and a quiet afternoon. But still, we almost lived in a world where the father of modern physics was also the father of a nation. And just imagine the election slogans. Vote Einstein, because the universe already does. Now that would have been the biggest plot twist in history. So next time you're frustrated with politicians, just imagine Einstein up there. Hair everywhere, pipe smoke filling the chamber, and everyone politely pretending they understand relativity. Einstein may have turned down the crown, but in doing so, he left behind something much more powerful. The image of a man who chose ideas over politics, equations over ego, curiosity over control. Think about it. A century later, we still don't quote presidents at science fairs. We quote Einstein. We don't name space-time theories after prime ministers. We name them after that wild-haired professor who once politely said no thanks to running a country. And maybe that's the real lesson. Sometimes the greatest power isn't seizing the throne, but refusing it. And in the process, Einstein managed to secure his place as not just a scientist, but a global icon of wisdom and occasional fashion disaster. So next time you're late for a haircut or your math homework feels impossible, just remember, somewhere Einstein is smiling, glad he stuck to physics, and glad he never had to wear a presidential suit every day. Now that's what I call genius!